Your feet are warm under the blanket right now. The room is dim, the bed is holding you, and somewhere just outside this comfort sits the one thing you already know you should do first. The cold shower, the run, the hardest task on the list, the one you keep moving to the afternoon. Your whole body is voting to stay, to wait for the right moment, the second cup, the surge of motivation that is supposed to arrive any minute now. But this is not really about the cold or the run or the task. This is about a single decision you make before the day softens you. The decision to choose one hard thing on purpose while you are still half asleep, before comfort has a vote and before motivation has even woken up. Because the person who waits to feel ready trains nothing, and this morning you are training. Almost 2,000 years ago, a Roman teacher named Musonius Rufus told his students something that sounds strange to a modern ear. He told them to practice being uncomfortable, on purpose, every day. He had them get used to cold and heat, to thirst and hunger, to a hard bed, to abstaining from pleasures and to enduring pains, not because suffering is noble in itself, but because a person who has never chosen a small hardship will be undone by a large one he did not choose. And he was clear about where the real work happens. We must harden the body, he taught, but much more the soul every day against the adversities of fortune. The cold water was never the point. The cold water was the gym. The thing actually being trained was the part of you that decides under pressure whether to flinch or to stand. Notice what he understood that we forget. He did not wait until life handed him an emergency to find out if he was strong. He manufactured small, voluntary difficulties on ordinary mornings so that the large, involuntary ones would meet a person already in practice. He was rehearsing his own composure in advance while the stakes were low. We have a modern version of the same man. Wim Hof has spent his life walking into ice and teaching other people to do it on purpose. His words could have come straight from Musonius. Cold is a stern teacher, he says, but a great one. It teaches you to be still in the most uncomfortable moments. Be still in the most uncomfortable moments. Read that as a description of every meaningful thing you are trying to build. The hard conversation, the deep work session where the mind wants to bolt for an easier tab, the decision you have been avoiding because it will cost you something. All of it is the same skill the cold teaches. The skill of staying, of not flinching when everything in you wants out. And here is the part that surprises people. The hard thing is not just character training, it is chemistry. There is a study out of Prague from the year 2000 where researchers put people into cold water and measured what happened inside them. Dopamine, the molecule of drive and focus, rose by roughly 250%. Noradrenaline climbed sharply too. And the most important word in the whole finding is this: it lasted. It was not a spike and a crash, the way caffeine lifts you and then drops you an hour later. It was a clean, steady tide that carried for hours. So the person who steps into the cold first thing has not punished himself before the day begins. He has handed himself the exact brain chemistry he needs to do excellent work. He bought focus with discomfort, and discomfort is the only currency that actually buys it. This is the quiet trade at the center of every disciplined life. You choose a small difficulty now, freely, while it is still your choice, and in return the day hands you a steadier mind and a self you do not have to argue with. You did the hard thing while you were still half asleep, before your excuses had finished getting dressed. Here is what changes when you stop waiting for motivation. You realize motivation was never the engine, it was the reward. It does not arrive before the hard thing to grant you permission. It arrives after, as the feeling of having already begun. The whole world is waiting at the wrong door, hoping to feel ready first, and the door they are waiting at only opens from the other side. So you stop negotiating with the morning. The longer you lie there debating whether to do the hard thing, the louder comfort argues, because every minute of warmth is a minute it gathers strength. The decision is only ever easy in the first few seconds, before the body has organized its defense. Move early, and you move while the resistance is still small. And you stop calling discipline a punishment. Musonius was not torturing his students. Wim Hof is not suffering in the ice. They are training the way an athlete trains, choosing the heavier weight because the heavier weight is what makes the strength. The hard thing first is not the price of the good day, it is the start of it. You are not trying to become a person who never feels the pull of the blanket. That person does not exist. You are becoming the person who feels it fully and chooses the cold anyway. That choice is small enough to make right now. So choose your one hard thing, out loud if it helps. I do the hard thing first, before comfort gets a vote. I will not wait for motivation. I move and the motivation follows. I choose one voluntary difficulty this morning, while it is still my choice. I will not negotiate with the blanket. I decide in the first 3 seconds. I train the soul harder than the body, every single day. I am still when it is uncomfortable, because that is the whole skill. I begin now half asleep on purpose. That is the practice, not a perfect morning. One hard thing chosen freely before the day has a chance to make you soft. If this got you out of the warm and into the cold, stay with this channel. Every morning, one disciplined hour to begin. And tonight, the other half of the truth, which is harder than it sounds. Tonight, you learn the opposite discipline, the one almost nobody trains. That rest is not a prize you earn by running yourself empty. That stopping is its own skill, and that you do not have to exhaust yourself to deserve your sleep. Come back this evening for it. Begin disciplined, end reflective. Now go do the hard thing while you are still half asleep. Go.